Hey, see if any of these questions they land for you. Will I ever feel normal again, or is what I'm currently feeling my new normal? When will I ever stop missing them this much? Am I forgetting them if I laugh and have a good time? And something I always said to myself, why am I still crying? You see, grief is so incredibly unpredictable and so shockingly messy that it makes it very difficult to navigate. And then it just has a way of leaving you wondering if there might be something wrong with you. Last year I wrote 13 observations about grief, which would have been helpful for me while I was going through my loss of my 27-year-old wife a few decades ago. And so what I chose to do is put all my observations down in one journal, and I titled it 13 Rules for the Grieving. And what we're doing at this stage is that we're walking through these observations one at a time. And we're on number 4 right now. And number 4 is this: every day laugh a little and cry a lot. See, I learned the hard way the importance of laughing and crying as we grieve. In the early phases of grief, I cried a whole lot and laughed, if any. But as I began to heal, those percentages began to shift, and I cried little and I laughed a whole lot more. It's very important that we pay attention to that ratio. And that's why this rule is so important, because grief is this long road that is paved by these small victories. And most of us underestimated the depth of pain associated with grief and the length of that process. And so because we can't picture the finish line, or we even know where it looks like or where it is, we don't even know what healing means. We just assume in our grief that we're stuck. But here's the truth about grief. There is no stopwatch on grief. In fact, you will learn that the more that you grieve, that grief doesn't end. Why? Because love doesn't end. Follow the logic. You love, so you grieve. You are grieving because you love. Love always remains, so grief will remain. Not as it is now, but it does change. And grief beckons you to change as well. And this particular adjustment, as you change, just takes a long time and a lot of patience and a lot of determination to do the work that grief requires you to do. So yes, very much so, it is easy to feel stuck. I mean, really, why wouldn't you? You're lost in this emotional tsunami. You're not sure where it's going to end or if it will end. It's leading you down a place that you don't even know if you want to go. And in some ways, we expect life to go back or at least resemble the way that it was before, but we know that's not possible. But yet we don't know what our new life will look like. So yes, grief just has a way of making us feel stuck. Maybe we're not stuck. Maybe we're just in this limbo period of time between what was and what is and what life will be. One thing is true about grief, is that the process to work through it just takes a whole lot longer than anyone ever anticipated, which is why I wrote this rule that is centered on the thought that grief is a long road that is paved with small victories. So measure those victories one tear and one laugh at a time. Don't make the mistake of measuring where you are now with where you were before grief became a part of your life. And it's very, very important that you be kind to yourself and to celebrate the small but very impressive wins. I slept 3 hours last night instead of 2. Good job, Danny. I cooked and I ate 2 meals today. Good meals instead of binge snacking. Nice job. I got out of bed early and I showered. I haven't done that in a while. Way to go. Hey, I cried only 5 times as opposed to 8 times yesterday. That's awesome. I answered a question at work about my loved one and I didn't lose it. Growth. We may call them small victories, but in reality, they are huge. So we need to celebrate those kind of victories. We need to pat ourselves on the back that you are making progress today. Rule number 4 is this: every day, laugh a little and cry a lot. Learn the importance of laughing and crying as you grieve. And in the early phases of grief, you'll laugh a little and cry a lot. But as you heal, the percentages will begin to shift. You will cry a little and laugh more. And believe it or not, these are no small victories. If you want a link to my self-help journal, 13 Rules for the Grieving, I want you to drop journal in the comment and I will send you the link.